and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's broadcasting. We do have, for your entertainment, Dominate Dominion, going to do some shoutcasting and some show matches here for you guys. The new Riot featured stream, so they're going to be bringing to you high-level Dominion, and we're going to be covering one or two games. I'm the FourCourtJester with you tonight, usually with Gandair or Chobra, but it does look like both of them are kind of MIA at this point. So, that's alright. We will be giving you guys the spec, and of course we do have our overlays up. So, just so you know, we do have two of the Dominate Dominion staff in lobby. It is Feedsky and Toodles. They're going to be here with Stormfall and Gali and DigiKid, and they're going to be taking on the random team of Roundabout, Sauron, Buddha Rice, Draculon, and Duskar. Community bans that were agreed upon in the chat was Darius, Lulu, Cassidon, and Jace. Not really too many surprises there. Lulu, a very high-level support champion, does some excellent work on Dominion. In fact, she's probably the hardest-hitting support champion that you could probably get on a Dominion map. Her picks passive is just so ridiculously powerful. Darius, the Dunk Master, we're not going to be acing any of him, and Jace with that Mercury Hammer is just too much to handle. And that leaves us with Cassidon, and Cassidon seems to be pretty much a blanket ban at this point. His Rift Walking is just too powerful on this map. It's kind of like a Poppy. Anybody that can really just negate or take advantage of a lot of the terrain of Dominion just kind of need to get out of the way, because they're very hard to counter. That being said, we do got the rest of the bands now coming up as well. Yorick, Vayne, Wukong. We're just waiting for the last one here on Team Purple. Urgot and Jax are the two locked in at this point. So Yorick, a very sustaining bottom lane champion. Very hard to bully him out of lane, especially since his armor and sustain with his ghouls can just skyrocket a little bit later on. Little curious about the Vayne ban, but Vayne, as an AD carry, you know, she has a little bit of stealth. She can again use and manipulate the environment of Dominion, but she doesn't really seem much like a higher end. It was apparently targeted towards Buddha. Alright, Feedsky giving me that feedback. So, apparently Buddha Rice plays a very mean Vayne. So there you go. Targeted bans. Know your enemies, know yourself, win the game, guys. Wukong, again, another high bursty champion. Very tanky later into the game, and with a little bit of cooldown reduction, can just bring havoc to the map. Urgot, very good bottom lane AD, especially really known as a mage killer. He can just really get down and dirty. At the same time, he can also go into a top lane. It's just more and more you see him more in that bottom. Jax, as you just did see Necrogen defeat in that bottom lane. Again, another kind of snowball-y champion. Does very well mid to late game. Starts living up to the name of Hyper Carry, and we're going to not see him. And Poppy was the last ban here, so again, we don't want any of that diplomacy getting in the way of our kills, and just her extremely high burst into the mid to late game with that wall smash of hers. Just nothing that we really want to deal with. That being said, Feedsky takes Ezreal first off, and I am fairly sure we do have the summoners blocked. Yes, indeed we do. So, not going to be telling you what those guys are running, but as a typical hint on a Dominion map, you do want to be looking towards getting two things. First is going to be your Revive. Revive is a very powerful mechanic on a Dominion match. Yes, it has about a 9-minute cooldown or so, but when used properly, it can really tip the balance towards you, and then all you have to do is just work to maintain that lead. Typically, you'll see 4 people going up in the top and 1 into the bottom, and that top fight will involve 8 people twice, 4 on each side, because those revives, again, very important. You need to get back up there. You need to continue that pressure. It's a very kind of traditional struggle at the windmill, that very top point in Dominion. The other thing to get, if you are going to be taking Revive, make sure you do get the Revive Mastery in your Mastery table, because it will give you a nice speed boost upon res, and that speed boost, again, very critical on a map that depends a lot upon static points distributed around that map. I mean, you have to get from point A to point B, and the faster you can run just means that you have less downtime between being useful. Typically, fighting around in the jungle is not going to get you anywhere, as jungle does have its own strategies and secrets, but at the same time, it is a game of point defense. It's just like, whose line is it anyways? The points don't matter. It's all about the point defense. And by the points, I mean like the accrued points that you get for doing things. I guess I should clarify that. Either way, Feedsky He started off with that Ezreal. We had ourselves a J4 and a Stormfallen. Going to be rocking that Malzahar. Very likely going to be a Malzahar bottom. As Malzahar AD, I do believe that his minion inherits either a high percentage or 100% of the critical chance, or maybe the bonus attack damage of this master. So that Voidling is, you just spam out those spells, you get the Voidling, you get your own auto attacks up there, and now all of a sudden it's 2 or 3 versus 1 in that bottom lane, depending if you have 1 or 2 of those Voidlings out. Malphite, very nice tanky pickup. I'm actually surprised you made it through the bans. And at the same time, we got Digigate picking up that Blitzcrank. Going to be the Pull Master. Very defensive, cooldown, tanky kind of Blitzcranks seem to be emerging, but every now and then you do see more of an assassin role. We're going to have to see how this game rocks in order to grab that. But at the same time, let's check out Team Purple. Maokai, Garen, the Pantheon, big fan of Pantheon on Dominion, as well as Corki, who's probably going to be that bottom lane. And now we're just trying to figure out what we're going to get here for Dusk. Dusk, looking for that Amumu. And Amumu, again, another one of those champions has really come through the ranks. Now that we got 10 bans on the table, there's a lot more opportunity, I should say, for other champions to kind of find their spotlights within Dominion. And at the same time, Amumu has done exactly that. I mean, let's think about it. He has a bandage toss, it's a movement displacer. Throw that into an ultimate, you're crying, you got the bandages, and the more he tanks, the more of his tantrums he's going to be throwing. So, great defender, great for initiation, build him up a little bit tanky, or just go assassin style, straight up AP. AP Amumu works great on ARAM maps, for example. So you can take that mentality here into Dominion as well. Does look like the game is actually going to be starting up. So, out with the summoner blockers. As you can see, 10 revives on the table. Nothing really too surprising there, but at the same time, does look like Feedsky is going to be rocking that Blitzcrank. He did trade it out, and he does have a Garrison, so I'm thinking that it's more of a defensive kind of style, but let's check him out. Feedsky rocking 921 for the cooldown reduction, as well as the defensive, his runes. Let's take a quick look at those. Nope, they don't want to load whatsoever. There we go. CDR Soraka. So yeah, again, armor, magic penetration, slightly odd, but I guess it's for his hits as well as his ultimate. But it's the cooldown and the move speed. So again, tanky cooldown reduction blitz can definitely do work as a great defender. Again, something of an initiator as well. Okay. Yeah, so looking at him, that's what Feezy's going to be going towards. Looking at Toodles now, J4, again, kind of could go tanky, could go a bit more offensive, and he is in fact going to go a bit more offensive. 2190, so a little bit of extra health, going for those offensive masteries, and at the same time, armor penetration, a little bit of crit, about a little less than a percent, but some also cooldown and 175 health. This seems to be the key health number here. You're going to see a lot of runes set up for plus 175 health. At the same time, plus 93% crit seems to be about what you can hit. And what kind of crit runes are those? Blue? No, it's the Greater Mark of Malice. Okay, so I don't know, but I've been seeing this plus 93.93%, so less than 1%, more and more. Either way, Malzahar, take a quick look at him. Probably going to be an AD. Armor penetration, see again, plus 9.3, cooldown reduction, penetration, masteries are, no, it's going to be a bit more defensive, so he might be throwing me a little bit of a loop, but it's called a physical tank. Either way, he should be bottom again. It should be Corki in that bottom lane as well. If it is going to be that Corki, then a physical defense tank is exactly what you want to be, because you do need that sustain to kind of just rebuff the damage coming out after him. Malphite, Ezreal, probably going to be, again, tanky, damage, and, the big key here is armor, guys. It's the tanky DPS meta works extremely well in Dominion because A, you're tanky, and B, then you kill things. And, the guy standing at the end of the fight is the one that usually is able to take down that point. So that being said, we are going to jump here into the game. We've got about 5 seconds left, but you are watching the Dominate Dominion. It is just an in-house scrim tonight that I was asked to cover by Feedsky. And again, you are watching this on the streamer portal at Riot, or you're watching it on Twitch TV. It is the featured stream of the week, so come one, come all, learn your Dominion. Because just so many people in solo queue have no idea exactly what they need to do. They always think, oh, it's a joke, don't worry, just go for kills. Yeah, I'm not going to be a team player. I'm just going to be sitting here and doing my own thing. And that's not how you win a lot of the time. That is not how you win. So now we're going to be loading up. Let's take a quick look at the skins. Commando Jarvan, Overlord Malzahar, as well as Nottingham Ezreal. I haven't seen that one before, but QQ, no Pulsefire. Rugged Garen, Charred Maokai, the rest of everyone. It's about the default. One thing to note here is Corki running that cleanse, and again, this is why I think Corki is going to be in that bottom lane. Cleanse actually won't do anything against Malzahar, so I don't know why. But I can understand the mentality. If Draculon's going to be in that bottom, he wants to get out of that Malzahar ultimate, but the suppress cleanse does not actually help you out of. So if he is going to be that bottom lane, would not be too surprised to see a Quicksilver Sash come out, probably maybe third item. Get some offensive, get some tank, get the boots, obviously, and then probably go for a Quicksilver. Wait for that level 6. But we'll have to see. Whoever is going to be that bottom lane, you know, again, it is very worthwhile investing in a Quicksilver for Malzahar regardless, and here we go. Game is ready to roll. Let's get some music. And we're good. Alright, team left once again. Feedski, Toodles, Stormfowl, and Gali, and DigiKid13 going to be representing Team Blue. And on the other side, Team Red, Roundabout, Sauron, Buddha Rise, Draculon, and Duskar. And Duskar has left. What a jerk. Now, looking at this, again, maybe not going to be a Corki bottom. I do see Malzahar already ready to go in that bottom lane. 64 attack damage, 1 ability power, taking the Tears of the Goddess. Not a terrible choice whatsoever. But Stormfallen, again, armor penetration, 21% on top of that. Definitely an AD Malzahar. You think it might be a little funky, but you're going to see some magic in this bottom lane. It does look like Sauron, however, is going to be up against the Malzahar in the bottom lane. Sauron on Garen. Garen with his passive damage reduction, plus, of course, his passive health return. If he can play it right, should be able to do some decent sustain in the bottom. He did take the Prospector's Blade, which means a little bit of a lifesteal, and of course the potions to boot. That being said, we're still waiting for Draculon and Amumu to pick up their items. Again, Amumu disconnected, which is a little unfortunate, so this is probably going to start off 5 versus 4, and that is never good. So what do you do in a 5 versus 4 situation? I'm not too sure if this is what they're going to do, but Buddha Rice hanging more towards the lower end of the map. Typically, you're going to have the 4 rush the top, and again, those are where the revives come out. But it does look like Buddha, realizing that there's no way in hell that they're going to be able to hold that top, is more towards the bottom with Garen. It does look like, in fact, we are going to be rushing the bottom with Team Red. I mean, you got to make do with the 4 versus 5. Buddha coming out of the woodwork is going to land the stun on top of Stormfall, and Stormfall going to be dropping fairly low, but again, I don't think they're going to be able to take this point. Why? Because Stormfound is already back up. There's that revive, there's the speed boost coming in. Toodles playing a little bit of interference, and here comes Gali as well, realizing that there's not going to be a team fight up top. Everyone has now come down bottom, and there goes that defensive garrison as well. Yep, defensive garrison. Yes. So, that being said, they didn't get the point, but maybe it was all towards their plan. Roundabout, he didn't come bottom either. And in fact, he's actually putting some pressure top, which is good, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Roundabout up top, forcing DigiKid to be up here, trying to zone him out a little bit with the saplings. And that's literally all he can do at this point. He can just try to play the poke game, play this harass game a little bit. And Sauron, unfortunately for him, again, on a 5v4 situation, he's just going to get pushed right out of his lane. The damage coming out from that Malzahar, plus the help from Toodles coming out, it's going to be a little bit too overwhelming for him. Draculon's going to come down here. They're probably going to have to split into a 2-2 for their lanes. And that being said, Draculon in the bottom. Again, Corki was my initial bet for the bottom. His extreme range plus harass is just really, really good up against more of the melee or the slower attack type champions in that bottom lane. And Malzahar is going to be running an AD Malz, but at the same time, he's not really built up that much as of yet. Jarvan, great escape out there, but we've used the creep wave in the top lane. Buddha and Roundabout able to get up here, and they're looking for that cap. Here comes the creep wave minion. Again, it's just going to auto push it a bit. Might have been a bit of a misplay there by DigiKid to reveal himself. Has to use that exhaust to try to get out of this situation. But Buddha and Roundabout doing some great work top. That was a miss on the Mystic shot, which is unfortunate there for DigiKid. DigiKid going to get hit by the Arcane Smash, and he is going to be going down. Twisted Advance into Arcane is pretty deadly here. But bottom lane, again, same situation. Whatever lane is going to have the more champions at this point is going to be the big lane. That's okay. Sauron uses that revive, gets down here, but is just a little too late to keep that point. That's going to hurt this 5 versus 4 situation. Same time, Sauron's able to get a little bit of a revenge kill, maybe even be able to go for the double. Does he have the movement speed? He will with that silence. He does have the Demacia ready to set up his judgment. Really sure it's judgment. Yeah, Demacian Justice. That was close. Now here comes Ezreal ult. Again, another useful feature of that Ezreal ult, the global True Shot Barrage, able to really hit anyone from range. That's my phone that I should probably stop. There we go. Great kill on the bottom, however, from their part. And, you know, at this point, 4 versus 3 doesn't seem to matter. We are still doing it. But top lane getting caught out. He goes down. Team Red actually bringing the pain to the DominateDominion team. Now we do have... Finally, a Mumu comes back. We do have Buddha Rice on the top, and he does have that Storm buff. Makes him pretty deadly as a Pantheon. And again, Pantheon, another pseudo kind of global. It has extreme range, but his Skyfall is very useful for defending points in a pinch because it does cover the entire point. So it's really good in terms of defense there. Great pull from Fietzky right into the laser. It's going to take down the Christmas tree. But Buddha able to grab Malphite just before he's about to go down. Fietzky should be able to clean this up. Bam! And done. Jarvan going for the steal, not able to grab it. Now another factor here in Dominion is these bottom quests. Quests do damage to your Nexus and grant your team an extremely useful attack damage buff. So in those stalemates, the team with that buff comes out ahead a good amount. And it should always be a priority for your team. Typically when you see these in more of a serious 5v5 or tournament game, as soon as you see those quests kind of announced, you see more of a shift towards either A, defending your quest point, or B, going for your enemies. And it's typically in that bottom lane. Fighting in the jungle, always a no-no because you never know who's around that corner. J4 able to take down the Pantheon, putting up some big pressure here to Corki and Roundabout as well. There goes that cleanse, but the cleanse unfortunately not good enough for the double between Toodles and Fietzky. It's just the cleanse, one or the other. Didn't use it correctly. Duskar coming in with that ultimate is able to land that kill, but it's probably going to pay for it. And yes, he does go down, leaving Roundabout in a 2 versus 1 scenario. But here comes Corki. Corki with the missiles and the machine gun, not able to take down Fietzky. Will be able to take down Toodles. Now Fietzky again, a bit more of a tanky, cooldown reduction kind of guy. Fietzky's now sitting at 13.94, and with the Catalyst going Chainfest and Sapphire Crystal to boot, probably going to be going for that Frozen Heart next. Cooldown reduction and armor, it's a great thing on this map. Once again, cannot overstate tanky DPS as the meta. Stormfound getting dropped in the bottom. Another big team fight up here by the factory, but it does look like Fietzky able to, or not Fietzky, sorry, Ezreal able to take the kill there. Here comes the man drop. Going to be landing a good amount of damage on top of Toodles and helps with that kill on top of Ezreal. Now Duskar trying to push out this lane a bit as well as keep that Maokai away. But it does look like both DD members are really forced to point. Now, this is not going to be good because there's a lot of burst between Buddha and Roundabout, and as you see here, they just drop immediately. Probably would have been safer to exit the point. But here comes DigiKid, able to not quite grab the kill with the first Mystic shot, but the second skill combo, able to grab that. Fietzky reviving instantly, back in action, able to take down Pantheon. But this bottom lane, we are now sitting at a 4 cap. So while all that fighting was going on, this bottom lane was always pushing. And this is why Sauron is really feared in that bottom lane. He's a great bottom lane pusher, keeps up the pressure on your enemy. That was an awesome ultimate there from Jarvan, keeping Sauron away from Stormfound. Can we get the Demacian Judgment? No, we cannot. But Corki will be able to clean it up with the machine gun. They trade kills right there. Toodles able to just get out of that by the skin of his teeth, but Fietzky was trying a little bit of a back cap maneuver there. While he decided to not fight, he went for the cap, and again, kills are cool and all, guys, but it's all about those caps. Right now we got 1 point to Team Blue, 3 going on again 4 for Team Red, and it doesn't matter how well you're fighting You need those points. 5-1-5 on Blitzcrank, for example. 6-3 on Jarvan. Unfortunately, the rest of the team not doing so well. Malzahar sitting at 1-4. It's an excellent kill from Jarvan in the jungle. Again, being caught out in the jungle, you never know who's around that corner. Neither team is running the Hextech Sweeper, and the Sweeper is an on-demand vision that you can use in that jungle. Very useful up against more stealth-type characters, but at the same time, we don't have one here. So try to avoid those jungles unless you're going in with a buddy. Ezreal ultimate coming up here, comboing with Gali, and we're looking for the kill on top of this top lane. So we are doing a lot of pressure. 4 members of Team Blue is up here, but that means that other places are now vulnerable. Buddha Rice going to be dropping to the harass. Duskar is almost able to pick up DigiKid, now able to clean that up, but at the same time he did leave Maokai to his fate. And wow, actually Duskar able to come back out of this one, defend it, the point with a pure awesome garrison in that top lane. I'm actually really surprised Duskar was able to clean that up as he is. What is Duskar running? It's going to be an AP Amumu. That's why I thought it was going to be a tank Amumu. AP Amumu, again, a big assassin style on this lane. In these cramped quarters, his crying, his tantrums, as well as his ultimate, plus the skill shot to get in and out of situations. It is absolutely marvelous to see him here in Dominion. Score sitting at 390 to 200. Again, does not really matter how well you're fighting. Right now, it is pretty overwhelmingly in Team Red favor. 3-4 cap pretty much consistently this entire game. Another fight happening here in the jungle. DigiKid getting caught out as Ezreal. Positioning is really key, and when you're up in the thick of things, that's not where you really want to be. Buddha Rice going to be looking for the exit, but instead Suicides tries to get off the rest of the damage, help out the team. Could be the double. It is Roundabout going down. Again, a cleanse coming out from Draculon, but it's not going to be enough to get away from this combo. And now Dusk is just, unfortunately for him, he's not tanky, but he is able to do enough damage to warrant that we shouldn't chase this. It's kind of like chasing a Singed. Thankfully, he went down before Toodles did, but that was an excellent fight overall from Team Blue's perspective. They worked really well. You saw them focus firing down. They took out the Ezreal, then they took out the Pantheon, then they took out the tree, then they took out the Amumu. And again, Amumu as a typical tank style, that's the correct order that you want to do it. Fortunately for them, Amumu's more of an assassin style, so he's able to do a lot of damage. Another great mad drop in the top. Buddha able to defend. Not exactly the point, but he's able to put up that pressure, and that's going to force people up there. Roundabout coming in here to help out Sauron. 1 versus 2. Does not look like Malzahar is going to be able to grab that one. But Sauron, he has a lot of physical damage to his aim, plus the Hex Drinker. Hex Drinker just for more the general abilities. We're cleaning up the pressure in this top lane. Team Blue able to just really force him away. But again, you go into that jungle, you never know who's there. Duskar setting up an amazing gank in that mid with Draculon, able to really force them back. And now it does look like pressure is going to be mounting. That top lane does have 3. We got 2 in defense down here, so overall Team Blue's in a good position to hold these 3 points, and this is what they need to do. They need to focus on going for these points, because it's all about the points at this time. We are down almost 200 points in terms of being able to win the game. A nice kill up top. It is going to keep Team Red more on the defensive, which is exactly what Blue wants. They have a really good split right now. 3 in the top, 1 middle, 1 bottom. And Stormfawn is starting to push out his lane again. Now at the same time, it does look like Buddha was able to pick up that Storm buff, and now with the Last Whisper and the Brutalizer, I mean, he has a lot of armor penetration. He's going to really do some damage in this next team fight, but Corki goes down before he can even get there. DigiKid will be the revenge kill. Buddha is tanking it like a boss. Look at this, double kill coming in. Could go for the triple with the help of Roundabout, but Roundabout has to kind of help him out here just a little bit. Gali going for the slowment, and unfortunately for him, Buddha is just sticking to him like white on rice. 3 kills coming out for that Pantheon. Armor penetration when comboed with the Crystal Scar penetration, which is another 12%, it really does start to add up. And again, a lot of the game is based upon tanky DPS, so in order to do damage, you need that armor penetration. So it's very smart moves on him. It's actually a very typical move on most Pantheons that we do get to watch. Feedski, unfortunately, he does have that Frozen Heart, also has the Odin's Veil. So it's kind of like the Banshees, but at this point he's just really trying to put up this pressure top. Toodle's now coming up here, but it's split DPS, the silence going off. Here comes the Corki, and Corki's going to clean this up very nicely with the help of Treskar. Unless Fietzke has an overdrive in his pocket. Oh, we have a Malphite in our pocket. It's good enough. Deskar just ulting him and running away. Toodle's now back in action with that revive. Again, important point, that revive can really turn those situations around. Got a little bit of a duel up here, Draculon versus DigiKid. I do think Corki was going to win that, but shows how much I know. Skin of his teeth, 40 hit points on DigiKid, and he's able to secure this top with Golly. Good golly, Miss Molly. So again, 3 points to their name means that they're still in this game. Sauron getting hit by that ultimate. Here comes the Fietzke to knock him up. But again, Sauron just so tanky at this point. Has himself that Randuin's Omen as well as 173 armor plus his own courage that he can activate. It's really hard to keep down a Sauron. Instead, Buddha Rice is down here, but here comes a massive Jarvan with that storm buff, able to just slice right through Buddha. And in fact, Buddha's going to revive, come on straight back downtown, because if we lose this point, it is going to be a really terrible position for Team Red. Draculon going to be dropping as well. Toodle's doing some absolute amazing damage with his team. Fietzke, however, now on the defensive, but with those revives now gone, yes, we didn't get the point for Team Blue, but Team Red's got to be feeling okay, but at the same time, a little pressure. They just used a bunch of revives in order to defend that, which means next time they're not going to be so lucky. We're 15 minutes into the game, which means everyone has probably used their revive about twice. Maybe not for Draculon or Sauron, because theirs is still up. But it is about that 9-minute cooldown. So, typical game, 20 minutes. You should be able to use it 2, maybe 3 times. You really gotta pick and choose. Double kill coming out for the Stormfallen in that bottom lane. Again, we don't have those revives this time, so now the pressure is remounting. Great bandage right there on top of DigiKid. Sauron going for the kill, but he is going to get knocked up by Fietzke, but Sauron just so fast when he gets that silence going. Unfortunately for him, cannot go 3 versus 1, and again, we just used that revive. Sauron did use his Damascene Justice, so he got the ultimate off. Just unfortunate for him was not enough to take anyone to the grave with him. And now it is Deskar in this bottom lane. He does have this Garrison ready. Not too sure if he's going to have to use it. Going for Stormfallen. Again, Stormfallen, he has 6 magic resist. Nope, there we go, 41 magic resist. Every time a Mumu hits someone, of course, it will get reduced, and a good shutdown streak coming out. But, wow, lots of kills across the board. 3 kills coming out from Team Red, and looks like finally getting a little bit of revenge in this top. Fietzke doing a great job defending this tower. It's all about the points, but at the same time, does look like we might finally award the quest to someone. Here comes Malphite. Malphite, does he have the ultimate? He does not. Yes, no, he doesn't have the ultimate ready to go. He is able to finally throw down a rock on top of Sauron, but damage is almost done. All we need is that bottom point, and we're going to get ourselves a tasty buff. Top, however, a lot of DPS landing on top of the defenders. DigiKid almost going down for the quick double. Maokai almost able to grab him, but it does look like top point going to red, bottom point almost going to red. Sauron still down here fighting it out with Stormfallen. He is going to throw down everything he has, but without any ability power to back it up, they're really just more delay tactics at this point. And now Sauron's still down here. Lots of kills going on across the board. However, Team Blue still going for this top lane, and it does look like they will be able to secure it, because Draculon's fairly low hit points does get the ace out, which means that we have lost Sauron in this bottom lane. And you can see the scores. I mean, the more you hold on to these points, the more of a chance you have to win. And now, recapping into 3, at this point we were almost 200 points down. Now we're sitting at 75. So Team Blue doing some extremely aggressive maneuvers, some really big aggression in the bot lane has left bot lane fairly untouched until just recently, and keeping up with that top lane defense is forcing Team Red to really split. Which way do they want to go? If they commit one way, they're going to lose the other. Big jungle fight going down here. Deskar with the bandage, going to be trying to go for the combo of ultimates, but good golly, Miss Molly just able to throw down that Malphite ultimate. It really raining on the blue team parade. And in fact, we are going to have Mantheon pick up that kill. We also have Roundabout running for his life, but on a 3 versus 1 situation, blue team able to pick up that double, and they have a good shot at this point here. We only have a Mumu up. He did back. He did not use that revive. but he is going to have to use that garrison to stop that point. So another summoner spell down in the blue team's favor. 2-on-1, 3-on-1, it does look like 2-on-1 in this top. I mean, again, Amumu looking for more of an assassin style, not really much of a tank style, and again, more pressure. So the more pressure we put here means that we're not looking at pressure in our other lanes, which again, aggression is leading really well here for Team Blue. It's able to keep them on their 3 caps. You can see him pushing both the drill as well as the quarry, or sorry, the boneyard in that bottom. You can see the red pings on the mini-map for that top lane saying, guys, we gotta get there. Now, with that kill on top of Malphite in that top lane, it does mean that that top point is going to go to red, but at the same time, they traded it for this bottom. We have 4 people down here from Team Blue, and they were able to overwhelm the defense. Ezreal Ultimate is going to delay this just a little bit longer. That's going to give time for Feetsky as well as DigiKid to get up there. But we also had a split here from Roundabout. And that was actually a really good idea from him, because the split here means that this is now neutral as well as the top, thus negating 2 points instead of both just going top and securing it. It's not looking really good for Team Red or Team Blue to defend this point, because now again they've been peeled up top, so that's going to give Red a little bit of breathing room. But if they can't secure this top point, and it does not look like they are gonna, then it is still going to be them on the back foot. They are now down 30 points as opposed to being up 200 a little bit. Now we do got the Mantheon drop coming in. It should be able to land. Yes, it is going to block both. So at the same time, Buddha Rice looking for a little bit of suicide, but at the same time, it stopped blue team from getting that point. Very key decision there on his part. He does not have that revive and probably will not. In fact, we don't have any revives coming up anytime soon for Team Red, so they got to be very careful with their fights. And you know, other than Pantheon suiciding, we're having a little bit of a revenge kill. Mumu able to take a kill, but he will be oh, and Sauron actually able to grab one as well. But you know, the damage is done. They're down to 1 point. It's a 3-1 in terms of points. We are able to, you know, grab the drill back, but this aggression style from Team Blue is working out extremely well. We cannot seem to find that perfect split for Team Red. If they go top, they lose bottom. If they go bottom, they've lost top. And that's something to be said about Team Blue in terms of their skill, positioning, and just the overall comp that they've brought to the table here. So Toodles as well as Stormfound able to pretty much take down Buddha without a fight. Sauron, however, should be able to Demacia him. And yes, he will be able to get that kill. Dusk looking for that kill on top of DigiKid, not going to get it, but Feetsky not able to solidify the kill onto Dusk either. I mean, just so tanky at this point. Does look like Malphite able to grab a kill as well as Corki taken down. The Feetsky, Dusk getting out of there, but the skin of his teeth, look at him. Sunfire Cape now going for Glacial, tanking up a little bit, but it's a little too late in terms of that because we got 7 points left on the table. So at a score holding steady at 99, Team Blue lost to an initial 5 versus 4 into a 5 versus 5. And sorry, Team Blue actually winning. That initial 5 versus 4, I mean, we held a good points advantage for Team Red, even on a 5 versus 4 situation. But yeah, Team Blue was able to just comp out and get beefy enough that they're able to take the points. And that's exactly what they did, 99-0. Well done on their part. We had a Trinity Force coming for our Blitzcrank, but you know, armor. Phage, really good for his auto attacks, gets that slow proc, helps out the team chase down people. Trinity Force and Last Whisper come out for J4. Again, armor penetration is typically the key to countering tons of armor, and you see that a lot. You see a lot of brutalizers into Ghost Blades, into yeah, the Last Whispers in and around the place. He also had an Executioner's Calling. Not a terrible item, but just not one that you see that often. Malzahar went, you know, really tanky, the Mana Mune as well as the Frozen Mallet, just try to kite them out. Again, armor, Randuin's on the Malphite with the Odins and the Spirit Visage, including another giant spell on top of that. You know, big, tanky DPS styles. So, that being said, not too sure if we're doing one game or two tonight. Oh, you guys enjoyed the Shoutcast. Yeah, great. Glad that you guys enjoyed that. It does look like we have another game, which is good. Typically, again, I'm with Gandair, but I don't know where he is tonight. But glad that you guys enjoyed. And I think we're going to do one more game. There we go. A little bit of music for you guys. Bam. So, give us a few minutes. We're going to get the next game rolling for you. Enjoy the music, and I'll be right back.